Are we on? Hey guys, thank you so much for waiting. Finally, Dan is here. Sorry for the delay, but it doesn't matter. We are here now. So let me introduce someone who does not need a very big introduction because you know him very well. This is an incredible Dan Buettner. He is a very incredible person that I inspire so much. He is the co-producer and the host of Blue Zone's Netflix series, which I love so much. And you know how I've met you? This is actually how I've met you. I saw this show a month before I met you in person, and I never watched television, so I turned on. Something was happening that evening, and when I was watching the Blue Zones, I was just admiring you because you are such a genuine and authentic person that is so interesting. And I thought to myself, I wish I could meet this man and have him over for dinner. And 1 month later, you were sitting at my table and having lunch with me. And I just was blown away that how the law of attraction works. And I'm so grateful that you're here today. Thank you, Dan, for being here. And we will be cooking a Blue Zone dish that I love and all my friends love, and I think I would like you to try it as well.
I can't wait.
So we're making the spicy beans with spicy tomato sauce and polenta, and from Rancho Gordo beans. I think you also enjoy those.
Steve, right? Sando, a big fan of Rancho Gordo, yes.
Yeah, they are really high quality.
Artesian, yes.
Yeah, very artesian, heirloom, high quality beans. And guys, we are also giving away 10 longevity packs, which is Dan Buettner's signed book, Blue Zones, and the Rancho Gordo beans. So all you have to do is comment anything you want, and we will randomly choose 10 lucky winners.
By the way, I'm here for two reasons. One, because when we met, she cooked lunch, and it was the most amazing expression of Blue Zone food. But number two, my mom met her and her boyfriend in New York and fell completely in love. And so she said, when Edvina said, come and cook with me, my mom said, can I come along? So she's watching us too. Hi, Mom.
So Mom is here and I absolutely adore her. I fell in love with Mom, and I'm so feeling fortunate that your parents are here, and maybe you will see them later. And it just makes me so happy that I could spend some time with your mom and let her try the food as well. So I will start making the dish and ask you some questions that are interesting for me. I know that you started your, I think, healthy journey, I would call it, with your cycling throughout many continents, including Soviet Union, Russia, the SSSR, and the African continent, and also Central America, right? And actually Dan set 3 Guinness World Records doing the long distance bicycling, and this is just mind-blowing.
Yes, I biked Alaska to Argentina, around the world and across Africa, and that sort of got me started in exploration, and developed, I think, a sensitivity to traditional peoples. And bicycling, you travel slowly enough to get an idea for what it's like to live in these places. We also counted on the hospitality of people, so we got into their homes, and you see that there's certain wisdom of traditional people that's quickly dismissed because they look poor or because they don't have technology. But most of the true longevity secrets your great-grandmother knew. And this is reflected in the lifestyle, how they connect socially, how they connect with purpose, but also, to your point, on how to cook. And in just seeing the ingredients here, you'll notice, and this is beautiful, that most of these ingredients are peasant foods. They're simple foods, you know, beans, anybody can afford beans, it's tomatoes, onions,
garlic, simple.
And of course the secret ingredient is learning how to make them taste delicious, which is where your genius comes in. And a lot of the subtle things you're doing here, I think, help transform a ho-hum dish into a dish that just absolutely sings. and not only sings to you, will also lull you into a healthy 100 years.
Exactly. By the way, talking about my great-grandmother, did I tell you that she lived till 106?
Wow.
My great-grandmother, and I remember a photo of her wearing an Armenian national costume, which is really beautiful, and her skin was flawless, and she had no gray hair. By the way, I don't have gray hair yet. This is my natural. And I think, of course, genetics is very strong, but keeping that tradition going along with the way we eat, the simple foods. And our Armenian culture is very much into herbs and greens. And we eat tons of greens and herbs. And I believe this is one of the secrets to longevity as well, because I feel how much health it gives me. And I have like bunches of all types of herbs in my fridge. Anything you can imagine is there, and I eat it just like that all the time. And I think it's really, really important because they contain tons of minerals and tons of nutrients and vitamins, everything you can imagine. And by the way, scan the QR code for the recipe. It's going to be there for you. I'm heating up some avocado oil here, and I'm going to saute the onions and garlic, and then we can continue.
On the point of greens, you bring up a very good point. In almost all these blue zones, especially women, they can identify sometimes 70 or 80 different types of greens. And these are the types of greens we'd weed whack or spray Roundup on in the United States. But look, it turns out that some of those have 10 times the antioxidants of red wine, and all full of phytonutrients. And in blue zones, and obviously in Edvina's kitchen here too, they know how to take those greens and not just make a salad out of them, but also steam them to make maybe add some lemon and olive oil.
Or
to make
vinegar and garlic.
Vinegar.
So we have a lot of those herbs that, like you say, people weed them out, we eat them. And there's even funny joke. I'm gonna tell you, this is hilarious. This Russian lady, it's a joke from Soviet Union, right? So the Russian lady says, "Who is this? What do you bring in all these greens and herbs for? Who? Did you marry? Did you like get a goat?" She said, "No, I married an Armenian." so basically, we eat so many herbs, and we have this dish that is called jangalov has. This is my favorite thing. It's a very, very thin dough filled up with 13 different types of herbs.
Yum.
That I cannot find many of them here, but the closest to some of the herbs, I get the carrot tops, the beet.
Oh, you can eat carrot top herbs?
Yes, you can, especially when I get it from Tiny Farm. Hi, Roberto. The best vegetables, the purest, cleanest vegetables. So when I get from Roberto, I never throw away any tops. Not from radishes, not from beets, not from carrots. You could chop them, saute them a little, and cook it.
I had no idea you could eat carrot top. You know, the other ones I really love are fennel tops.
Me too. I use them all the time.
Yeah, and sadly, you go to like Whole Foods and they chop them off. And the fennel tops, they're really feathery and they convey kind of a anise or anisette flavor. Yeah, they're amazing.
Amazing. And I save them. If I have extra, I save them. I use them for stocks.
Oh,
yeah, really, actually, all the beans that I cooked here.
Look at those.
They are cooked in fennel, with fennel tops, with curry leaf, with garlic, onions, and some chilies, and celery root and parsnips. So we have all the root vegetables. So when you make beans, make them like you make in a really delicious stock, because you can actually take the water and use it as your broth.
Is that right?
Yeah, so yesterday I made a vegetable soup, so I used a lot of that broth for my soup.
A lot of flavor in bean water.
A lot of flavor, and it has already like a thicker texture, so it's really nice. So we are crushing some of the garlic, because I like to have the garlic really crushed.
So what are we preparing right here?
This is a base this is a spicy tomato sauce.
Okay.
So we're starting off with 1 Vidalia onion, just sliced, some crushed garlic, and then we're gonna throw in the tomatoes. and create this really beautiful sauce. And this is from Giadzi. This is a really great quality tomato. You could see it's
looks amazing.
Full peeled tomatoes and its own juice, which is actually better for you when the tomatoes are cooked. And without
the lipocins become bioavailable.
Yes, and the
important amino acid.
Exactly. So cooked tomatoes are really good for you. So this company makes really nice ones, and I like it a lot. This is going to be the
Where
sauce.
do you come down on? Like I noticed the skin is off of that. What do you like tomatoes without skin or with skin?
Well, it's better without. Yes,
Why?
because the lectins. Because the skin contains a lot of lectin.
And then why would you throw the skin away?
Well, because the skin is it's not great for you. The lectins. No. Because it's like nightshade, the eggplants, all of those vegetables contain too much, and the skin takes most of it. So it's better for your digestion without the skin, which I love eggplant skin, but I started to getting rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's this whole in the longevity field. There's a whole discussion on lectins.
So much information now. It's crazy.
But beans contain lectins, and what people are deluded. There's a guy named Dr. Gundry who's kind of misled us in thinking beans are unhealthy for us because of lectins. But actually, if you cook, the moment you cook beans or skin over 212 degrees, i.e. boiling, the lectins all neutralize.
Exactly. And also soaking the beans is very important. When you soak the beans, and you have to wash them away from the water that they've been soaked in, and replenish with fresh water. Also makes it easier to digest for us. Also, there is the spice called asafoetida, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. That is a good. It's a good spice to use if you have bloating, if you get bloated or something from beans. It will actually remove that gasiness and all the problems that you might experience. But if you cook them long enough and soak them, you would not have any problems, especially quality beans like that. I was going to ask you, how did you begin all this journey? Where did it start from? Did it start from your cycling journeys, or longevity connection?
This is all the extension of a committed career for being an explorer. I'm a National Geographic explorer. I've written many articles for them. After I did the bike rides, the long bike rides, I started a company that was solving mysteries. And I had a full-time team, 14 of us, and we solved mysteries like why the Maya civilization disappeared. Did Marco Polo go to China? And I got really good at finding an unsolved mystery and reading all the scientific papers and networking to all the top experts and solving it. And my brother Nick, actually, who was working for me at the time, he discovered a paper in 1999 that showed that some islands in Southeast Asia were producing the longest lived women in the world. And I go, aha, that's a good mystery.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. And I brought my team. They were called Quests at the time. I brought my Quest team to Okinawa, and we started looking for answers. Oh, there they are. You got the whole library there.
Actually, they are from a library, yeah. And this is the Quest.
And that was the Maya Quest. Yes,
the Maya Quest.
Solving the Maya mystery.
I started reading. I didn't manage to read them all, but I started reading the African one.
I mean,
it was very interesting. These are really interesting books to read. If you can find them, get them. It's so cool. And I saw this was at 1987, right?
Africa was 1993.
1993.
Alaska and Argentina was 1987.
So
people don't believe I'm that old.
I don't know how old you are, but you look incredible. And I saw a picture of a man in the book, and you said at that time already that the life expectancy in Africa is 55 years old, and shocked me. And I think, oh, this is me. You started to get interested long ago, before we all found out Blue Zones. That is such an interesting show. And
the show, incidentally, is called Live to 100. That's on Netflix, Secrets of the Blue Zone. Most people know it by Live to 100. And I'm going to break here only because people are more likely to watch it if they know, but it was nominated for 6 Emmy Awards.
6 Emmy Awards,
and won
yeah.
3 Emmy Awards, lived to 100. I'm very proud of it. You can see it for free on Netflix. So
you must watch it. And that show changed my life, and really, that show is so beautiful and it's so genuine and it's just wonderfully done. And the way you go find these places and people. And which would you
Edvina
say...
weighed 300 pounds and she was wrinkly and walked around with a cane. Then watched that show and bam, you look like this. Yeah, so.
Which blue zone impacted you the most? What would you say?
From a human level, Ikaria in Greece. And I found kind of a second family there. It's the sort of purest expression, I think, of a blue zone. It's way off the beaten path, so you can still go sit down with a 90-year-old and they'll take you into the field and pick herbs or show you the greens that they've been eating forever. The other big one is the Nicoya Peninsula of Costa Rica, which Americans can reach. You can drive there from here. It's a long drive, but you can drive there. It's a long drive, yeah. But the point being that they have what I argue is the healthiest diet the human species ever invented.
Korean diet.
No, this is in Nicoya, Costa Rica.
Nicoya.
It is 3 simple ingredients. It's corn, from which they make beautiful whole grain corn tortillas, squash, and beans. And when you blend those 3 foods together, you get, they call it the 3 sisters, but you get a completely sustainable food, very high in complex carbohydrates, niacin, like 500% the niacin you need, chocked with minerals, by other vitamins and minerals. But most importantly, it has all the protein necessary for human sustenance. So we live in this sort of protein-obsessed world.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And we think we got to go, eat dead cow or dead pigs to get the protein. But actually, if you're having a cup of beans and on a corn tortilla, you're getting all the protein you need with none of the hormones and none of the pain and suffering.
Correct?
I'm plant-based, yeah.
Plant-based, correct, yeah.
Yeah, mostly plant-based.
And I remember that show with the Costa Rican gentleman. He looked absolutely incredible. How old was he?
He was 101, 102. Ramirez was his name.
Yeah,
he's still alive.
He looked, maximum of 70 years old. And I was blown away. Very, very, and he was riding the horse like a young man at 101. Absolutely incredible.
Yes,
and actually we have, Dan came out recently with his Blue Zone Kitchen frozen meals, which are those cup of beans with some other vegetables and grains. And
so for those of you not lucky enough to actually cook with Edvina and maybe not have the time, I spent about a year and a half with a team to put these frozen meals together. They're the top-rated plant-based frozen meals in America right now. Formulated for longevity, maniacal focus on deliciousness, and they come from each of the 4 blue zones, and they're in all Whole Foods.
Yeah, they are in Whole Foods, and we have a lot of other varieties there. But check
I haven't
out
even
Whole
eaten them
Foods.
all.
Yeah,
including
I have
the
them
oatmeal.
all. I'm excited to try them.
Yeah, me too. We'll do it together.
Longevity isn't just food, correct? What would you say is
the best thing?
That major part of it.
Yeah, the best way to think about it, Edvina, is to think about a cluster of things that all connect and all support each other to help you do the right things and avoid the long things for the decades so you don't develop a chronic disease. So in blue zones, they're all mostly eating a whole food plant-based diet. Every once in a while they'll eat meat. They eat on average meat 1 time a week, about 20 pounds of meat a year compared to 220 pounds of meat we eat.
Right.
So they're eating mostly whole food plant-based. They move naturally. So they're not going to the gym, they're not doing Pilates and yoga, but they're living in places where every time they go to work or a friend's house, they walk. They don't have machines to do all their work. They have a garden out back. I don't know if you remember from your grandma who was in a garden.
Exactly. That's
you don't
how
need to
it
go to the
was.
gym
No.
if you have a garden. So they eat mostly plant-based. They move naturally. Their life is underpinned with purpose. They know why they wake up in the morning. They know what their skills are, and they know a place to put their skills to work, their gifts to work, usually with family, sometimes with community, sometimes it's with volunteering, but they know their purpose and they live it. They surround themselves with people like our friend Jimmy Demers.
Thanks to Jimmy, that's how I met.
That's how we met each other.
Dan, thank you, Jimmy.
And but they're friends who tend to have healthy behaviors. They tend to not smoke. They tend to care about you on a bad day. They tend to
have a sense of community that they all connected and share with each other food and visit each other. I remember when I was growing up, we would always put our coats on and when it's winter and go say hi to my aunt that is lonely maybe tonight, and we would always have these dinners and visit each other, walk to each other's homes. We never drove, we just did all the things like you're saying. And my grandmother would wake up at 5 a.m. and start working on her garden, feeding her chickens and doing all of these things. And it's absolutely true. And what is your purpose?
I think my purpose is going out into the world, studying traditional peoples, learning their wisdom, and then spreading the wisdom to the rest of us, or at least understanding the lessons and making the lessons clear and actionable by the rest of us. At the end of the day, these books, this book, that meal, the books, the Netflix, they're not me. I am just the translator.
Yes.
But I'm good at finding these extraordinary populations, spending the time to understand them and connect it to science, and then make that information accessible to others.
And it's absolutely priceless for all of us because we have the opportunity to get the books and to watch the show, to follow your page and learn so much from you because you are someone who actually lived it, experienced it, and definitely know it. And now
I'm about to eat it.
And what is the best advice from the Centenarians that you have got?
So, there are a few things. Don't be bamboozled by anti-aging hacks. Going to get stem cells or metformin or rapamycin or all. There is absolutely no pill, no supplement, nothing your doctor can give you right now that is going to slow the aging process down or stop it or reverse it. But we know from these people in blue zones, they're living 10 years longer than we are at middle age. And probably, I don't want to boil it down to one piece of advice. I want to boil it down to two pieces of advice. The first piece of advice, and this is going to sound trite and pandering, but learn how to cook at home. Why? Because every time you go out to eat, you consume about 300 more calories than you would if you ate at home.
And I mastered that one.
300 calories every day for 10 years, that's 40 pounds on your midsection. So learn how to cook at home and learn how to cook whole food, plant-based. And you have to try enough recipes, including this one, till you find 5 or 6 that you like. Doesn't matter what I like.
Exactly.
It matters what you like because why? Because if you like it, you're gonna eat it. And if you don't like it, you may use discipline. So learn how to cook whole food, plant-based at home. The second big piece of advice is really pay attention to your immediate social circle. When it comes to longevity, there's no short-term fix, and friends tend to be long-term adventures. So very carefully decide who you're going to let into your immediate circle. Who your 3 best friends are going to be. We know that if your 3 best friends are obese and unhealthy, there's a 150% chance that you'll be overweight. So choosing friends whose idea of eating is beans, friends whose idea of recreation is pickleball or bicycling, friends who will care about you on a bad day. And people say, oh, that sounds trite. But there's more evidence behind both of those in a very practical way than there is all of the stem cells, all of the plasma exchange, all the Brian Johnson hocus pocus.
All of this longevity, not even longevity, I'm sorry, the youth obsession to me is so ridiculous at this point, because why are we so afraid to age? I'm 47 years old, I will be 48, and I am so happy to age because that means I'm alive. The only thing I want is to be healthy and strong, and I am not afraid to get wrinkles. I don't do anything to my face, and I'm not planning to. I decided that I want to age naturally, and it's something that should change. Women go completely crazy and obsessed with looking younger and just doing all this plastic surgery and harming themselves in the end of the day, because it's not worth it. Just focus on eating healthy, exercising. Dan always rides his bike everywhere except today because he came with his parents, but he would have. And it's absolutely important for you to be strong and healthy, and what you could do for yourself, and it's very easy. Just eat the right food and be strong and exercise. And yes, and like you said, all of those things are never going to change anything. And the circle that you live in, you know, when people are happy and positive and supportive and doing the right thing, you are surrounded by them, and of course you will have a better circle and live the same lifestyle. As in Armenian culture we say, aprire lavir, means live and enjoy.
I remember when I bicycled around the world, we ended up in an Armenian work camp, and we were starving. You know, we were living off of like pig fat and buckwheat. And these Armenians, your countrymen, came out and they completely embraced us. They asked, what are you doing here in the Soviet Union? And I told them we biked here from Minneapolis. And they stopped everything. They made a feast for us, even though they were very poor.
That's my culture, very hospitable. We'll put out everything we have in the fridge.
And we were kind of embarrassed because we knew that they couldn't afford. They made a huge feast. They stopped everything. And I just remember right before we dug into this feast, the man, our host, grabbed a vodka glass and he raised it and he said, in Armenia, the quality of a man is judged by his hospitality. And then he drank.
Yeah, that's it.
And I, you know, I feel that in you, by the way. These are the things that make life worth living, and they're very Blue Zone type concepts. We know they add years to your life, but more important, they add life to your years.
Absolutely.
I do want to just put a finer point on a couple things. I actually don't believe in exercise. Okay. I think exercise, this idea of willfully, I'm going to go to the gym for an hour every day.
But this is our lifestyle in America. We don't all of us have a garden, right? But some physical activity is very important. I agree with you going like crazy with, you know, lifting. I don't believe in that either. And I like walking and
there you go.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna interrupt you for a second.
No.
This sauce takes a little bit of time, guys, because it has to the tomatoes have to slowly cook. It takes about 30-40 minutes. So basically this is how you start, and just add some chilies and it's done. And I'm gonna switch for the one that is ready.
I wish you guys could smell this, by the way, because it smells like a tsunami of umami. It's just tomatoes?
I like that expression. So this is the texture that you want to see.
Beautiful. So you've cooked it down a little bit.
We cooked it down, and
big chunks of garlic.
Big chunks of garlic because it's crushed, and lots of tomato and some chili pepper.
Oh, that's
of course.
Amazing.
And it's really, really delicious. And sorry to interrupt you. You said
so here's the thing. We keep hearing exercise over and over and over again, but fewer than 25% of Americans get even 20 minutes of exercise a day. It's just not enough, and it's not working. That means 75% of Americans don't even get 20 minutes. Most people don't even get off the couch. So rather than continuing to push CrossFit or pump iron or do triathlons, I just want to get people to walk to the grocery store. I want kids to walk to school or walk to pick up your coffee. And even people, we're here in Miami here, and we're working on possibly a Blue Zone project for Miami Beach, and we'll only come here if Miami Beach says, okay, we are open to making our streets more walkable. because I know that's going to do more to raising life expectancy. If you go from doing nothing, a couch potato, to just walking 3 minutes, that adds 3 years to your life expectancy.
I agree, because I do feel the difference from New York when I used to walk so much everywhere because of the lifestyle, and here everything is by car, and I'm missing that, and I make myself to get out and walk on the beach or just walk to the grocery store. Like you said, I would not take a car, I would walk to Publix here instead of driving, because we don't have that.
Last time I came here, I biked.
Yes, I remember.
It took 30 minutes. This time I drove, and it took an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's why.
And I got here stressed, and it was just yet another affirmation that the blue zone up from behind your steering wheel onto your feet is the right way to go, and it's largely a function of where you live and what your city council decides on how they're going to design streets. Are they designed for cars, or are they designed for humans? If they're designed for cars, you're going to drive in traffic. If they're designed for humans, you're going to walk and bike, be healthier, and live longer. Yes. Now on to this beautiful sauce.
So now we will add our beans that has been cooked. You have to cook them early enough because you have to soak them through.
How long did you cook those?
So the beans were probably a couple of hours, not too long.
Wow, that's a long time. Yeah. These are the lima beans, large beans. White.
Yes.
They're about 3 times bigger, and they're so meaty and delicious.
They are really delicious.
And you cooked them again in fennel?
Fennel, onion, some curry leaves that you see here.
Wow.
Also celery root.
Wow, there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, it's
and will you keep that broth? This
yeah,
broth here?
Absolutely. I will keep that broth. So we're gonna add this beautiful these beautiful beans into the sauce, mix them, and I love adding some lemon zest. That lemony flavor really works well with tomato and with beans. So we'll add that, and a touch of olive oil. That is also lemon olive oil that I love. And we'll throw in some cilantro, of course.
But I know you're going to know this instinctively, but one of the tricks I learned in the Blue Zone in Icaria is they use a little olive oil to saute, but they finish it with olive oil.
Finish it. This is what
because it doesn't. The olive oil is better preserved.
Preserved, exactly. I usually put it already on your plate.
Oh, wow.
Just finish it up on the plate. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I have here some...
Wait, do you believe in one kind of olive oil or another? I mean, should people...
Yes, I do believe there is a difference in quality,
Like, what should we be looking for
You should be looking for cold-pressed olive oil. You should be looking into a small company that is not distributed millions and millions, because that means that olive oil is not, it's mass-produced. So just look for a smaller olive farm that you could support, and which is really nice. And we also have in California, and it's actually pretty good olive oil from I forgot the name, but I have it here.
How about between Spain, Greece, and Italy? Do you have a favorite of those 3 countries?
Greece and Italy. Yeah.
Greece and Italy.
Italy, yeah. I think they are more specialized than olive oil. Spanish olive oil is good, but I prefer those. It's just maybe a preference.
I hear olive oil in Greece is really slippery. Did it?
I'm not sure about that one. But let me make a plate for you so you could try.
Oh my God.
So we have...
This is a polenta?
This is a polenta.
So you just use cornmeal and what else?
And just water and salt. I don't like any cream. I don't like anything. But again, I'm going to put some olive oil on it as well.
And now it's just plain. I mean, can you get this cornmeal anywhere, or is there a special kind of cornmeal?
I just buy Bob's mills.
Oh yeah.
It's like a better quality, and
it's like cream of wheat.
Yeah.
Except it's.
You could also use grits, of course. Also, I want to ask you a question, because this particular recipe is going to be in my cookbook, and I'm writing my cookbook, and it's hopefully going to come out soon this year. And what is your advice? Because you've written so many books, and it's so frustrating for me, some parts of it, because as you know, it's a lot of work. What is the advice to me about it?
I would do exactly what you're doing. I mean, the fact that you're building an audience and getting your audience engaged. I think if there's some question you can let your audience decide for you, like if you're trying to decide between two recipes and you let them vote, maybe you have.
Well, I kind of have that part covered. I'm
Okay.
wondering more about the writing process. Is there anything that you've learned along the way that could have been done differently, or things that are easier? Some tips that are easier to deal with that process, because it's not an easy thing for sure.
Well, I think that to connect your cooking to health, I think people love to know that this is not going to be only delicious, but it's going to be good. I think connecting it to your ethos, your Armenian roots, and why these Armenian roots make the food taste better or make the food better for you. I think people are going to love your story. And they're going to, if people can look like you at age 48 by eating this food, I think they're going to gobble it up.
I like that. So here you go. Try it.
Am I supposed to bite into this?
Yes, of course.
Oh my God.
And I want to make a plate for your beautiful parents.
Oh my God.
Dolly?
Anybody who badmouthed beans should taste this. I wish I could telegraph this through the camera and have you guys taste it. The beans will taste like meat.
They are, right? They are so meaty.
Yeah, they don't
They're
have
just
all the mealy flavor of beans. There's a tang and a bite from the sauce. You can really taste the garlic. The cornmeal provides an element of comfort. So it's a comfort thing.
It's a comfort thing, especially in this cold weather all over the country right now. I think this meal is just perfect. And I want Dan's parents to come and try this as well. And Dolly and Roger are here, and I absolutely adore them. She's so sweet. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, what a treat to be here.
What a treat to have you here. Please take a bite. I did put the olive oil for you, and let me give you a plate here, Roger. Come on in.
So my dad helped me write all these books, and this is Blue Zone American Kitchen, and this is my dad, who is a chef himself. So he's a discerning eater here because he's proud of his own food, and he cans his own tomatoes. So we'll see what he has to say.
Please try. I wonder what you think about it, and I think it's a very simple, like Dan said, it's about simplicity and about just right flavor. That's
wonderful.
You like it?
Yeah.
Hey, she likes it.
My mom and dad are Blue Zone's all-stars. So one of the cornerstones of Blue Zone is putting your family first, which means keeping your aging parents nearby. They're staying with me right now, investing in your spouse. They've been married how many years?
65.
65 years together.
This is so beautiful.
And they invested their children. And there's no way I could do what I do if it wasn't for them. So I'm so glad you're having them here.
Thank
This
you.
is when you meet your parents, and this is, now I know why you are who you are, because there's wonderful people with so much soul and so much heart. Of course, they raised this incredible son, and it's a proud moment for your parents to see how well you're doing, how much you're thriving, and how much gift you are given to the world. You are doing something for people, which is very special.
I got it from
Thank
them.
you.
I'm just passing it on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please enjoy your meal.
Thank you.
And then I have to do this because it's my thing. I don't know if
Go ahead.
you're gonna have any, but we're gonna have to toast to the end of our show. And while I'm doing this, I want to ask you, what's next for you? What are you working on?
I'm working on another book. I found the places where people live the longest lives and are still healthy. And I'm working on a sequel to the Blue Zone's Live to 100. I'm working with other cities, maybe Miami, to become a Blue Zone project. So
that would be really,
I'm still
really special. Please do it. We need it.
alcohol. I'll tell you another thing about alcohol. I'm very aware that alcohol's getting a lot of bad publicity these days.
Let's
But
talk about it. Yeah.
Two things. Most of these epidemiology studies lump. Oh, here we go. This is the big.
This is it.
I love that. They lump mixed drinks, beer, and quality wine together and draw a conclusion, but they're vastly different. You can't lump Cosmos with a beautiful champagne, with beautiful food and people you like. So in Sardinia, they toast by saying "Akentanos," which means
I love that.
I'll see you when you're 100.
Oh my God, Akentanos. That's
Akentanos.
This is my another favorite one. I have a few. I love Sauji. I love now Akentanos. So beautiful.
Akentanos.
Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you so much for this beautiful time together, Dan. This was an absolute bliss, and I'm very grateful to call you my friend and to have you here. Thank you so much, everyone, again. And see you.
See you when you're 100.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
you're welcome.
I love you.
Thank you. Well, I'll take a little sip of this. I mean, I hate to have it go away. Aren't those good?
How is it?
Great.
Yay.
Awesome, you guys.
Scale of 1 to 10, Raj.
12.
Wait a
Maybe
second.
some wine.
I put some lamb chops there. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, yeah.